In the depths of history, shrouded in the shadows of ancient times, lies a mysterious and enigmatic text known as the Book of Melchizedek. This ancient manuscript, rescued from the Dead Sea Scrolls, emerges as a beacon of hidden knowledge, revealing secrets to those bold enough to explore its depths. The pages, worn and yellowed by time, contain wisdom from ages past, telling tales of forgotten gods and heroes now lost to memory. Yet, it also holds dark prophecies, waiting for courageous minds to uncover their hidden meanings. Who is Melkisedek, the guardian of this arcane knowledge? What secrets does his book conceal? What mysteries lie in the depths of the Dead Sea where it has rested since time immemorial? Venture into the shadows of history to discover the powerful legacy that awaits within the Book of Melchizedek, a work that challenges reason and ignites a thirst for knowledge in those who dare to listen to its call. Chapter 1 tells the story of Abraham. When Abraham learned of a battle that led to the capture of his nephew Lot and others, he quickly received a divine command to undertake a great liberation. Resting under an oak tree in Mamre, Abraham listened as a breathless servant relayed the tragic news. A battle between the cities of the plain had resulted in the defeat of Sodom, and Lot was taken captive. Despite his peaceful nature and fragile condition, Abraham decided to rescue Lot. Although his servants were not trained for combat, having been raised as shepherds, they prepared to fight with their pastoral tools. Guided by divine instruction, Abraham assembled 600 shepherds at Mamre. They followed God's commands to prepare a special vessel filled with oil and wool. A divine flame ignited the wick, creating a light visible from afar. Abram set out with this vessel on his shoulders, anticipating trials ahead. As he marched towards the cities of the plain, many mocked him, including his wife Sarah. Yet, Abraham persisted, carrying the vessel despite the ridicule, demonstrating his unwavering faith and commitment to God's call. Abraham spoke to the shepherds about his mission and the sacred vessel he carried, but they thought he was crazy and tried to take it from him forcefully. Abraham held onto it firmly, feeling ashamed as some shepherds left and others mocked him. He sought solace, hoping to share his burden with someone, but found disapproval from everyone, including his wife Sarah, whom he expected to support him. Feeling isolated, Abraham continued his journey alone, carrying the vessel that symbolized his faith despite doubts and humiliations. As he walked, Abraham realized the significance of the vessel and protected its flame from the elements, despite mockery and threats. He saw the flame not just as fire, but as a symbol of the Messiah, shining brighter as darkness fell. Remembering his past as a respected priest, Abraham understood that this humble flame now represented a deeper spiritual truth. Despite challenges like cold winds and confused shepherds, Abraham pressed on towards Sodom, where he sought to fulfill his divine mission. Arriving at the encampment of soldiers, Abraham approached his objective with determination, carrying the vessel that now illuminated his path both physically and spiritually. Abraham, leading his new followers, descends from the mountain and sees the camp filled with celebrating soldiers and hundreds of humiliated captives. He wonders how he can free his nephew Lot. His presence catches the attention of some soldiers, who mock him for the smoking vessel he carries. Abraham explains that he is there to free Lot. Soon, the mockery turns to threats, with the soldiers declaring that all captives, starting with Lot, will be executed the next morning. Abraham finds solace in the arrival of his loyal shepherds and allies, who have come to support him. These shepherds, guided by the divine voice, have learned to love the light of the vessel and have pledged their loyalty to Abraham. As they arrive in small groups, totaling 300 men, they share their spiritual struggles and how they came to cherish the vessel's light. Abraham's trusted friends, Anor, Skola, and Manu also arrive with armed men, prepared for the dangers ahead. Abraham instructs them to hide until dawn, awaiting further orders. He then gives detailed instructions to his shepherds, who are to prepare for an attack by lighting oil-soaked wicks in jars. At nightfall, 40 shepherds silently advance into the enemy camp, while the rest surround it. As the camp plunges into darkness, one captive lights a small lamp as a signal. When this lamp extinguishes, the shepherds break the jars, unleashing a roar of noise and light. The soldiers, confused and panicked, begin to fight among themselves. The shepherds stand their ground, and the captives, initially terrified, realize the plan is in their favor as dawn breaks. A scene of complete destruction spread out before us. The entire city was filled with thousands of bodies, slain by their own swords and spears. Only a few managed to escape this massacre, but their freedom was short-lived as my 18 armed allies pursued and captured them not far from Damascus. Meanwhile, the now freed captives reclaimed all the riches that had been stolen from them by the enemies. This marked the great liberation of Israel in the last days, as described in chapter 5. Abraham realized that this significant event happened during Rosh Hashanah and began preaching faith in the Messiah to the liberated captives, inviting them to cleanse themselves in the water. However, only 3 accepted his invitation. Abraham refused an offer from the king of Sodom, and instead, he and the faithful chose to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles with great joy in Salem. They danced upon pearls, celebrating their freedom and the morning of liberation with vibrant joy. As the ex-captives rejoiced, I heard a voice speaking to me amidst the flames. This liberation today symbolizes the liberation I must achieve in the last days, saving the remnant of God's children from the nations allied with Gog to destroy them. On that day, when they triumph over my people, my anger will be immense. I will fight them with plague, blood, torrential rains, large hailstones, fire, and sulfur, which I will rain down on them and their cities. Thus, I will be glorified and justify my holiness, making myself known to many nations. They will know that I am the Lord. As stated in Zechariah 12:10, I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. They will look on me, the one they have pierced, and mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for a firstborn son. On that day, a fountain will open for the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, enabling the removal of sin and impurity. Zechariah 13:1. Realizing the historical significance of this liberation, I checked the calendar and discovered it was Rosh Hashanah, the Day of Trumpets, and the first day of the new year. 10 days later, John would purify himself on the Day of Atonement, and on the 15th day, we would celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. Shortly after, the flame, representing the promised Messiah, extinguished during the encounter between the shepherds and the liberated captives. Everyone was eager to understand how such a great liberation was possible with just torches and horns. I explained the importance of the fire from the altar that had guided me, identifying it as the saving Messiah. Seeing their dirty bodies and cloaks from slavery, I invited them to follow me to the Jordan River to purify themselves. Only 3 accepted, Lot and his 2 daughters. The others returned home, still contaminated. Before leaving, the king of Sodom offered me all the recovered wealth, but I refused, not wanting to be enriched from the loot. We camped by the Jordan near Jericho for 12 days, ridding ourselves of impurities in preparation for the Feast of Tabernacles, which we decided to celebrate in Salem. Full of joy, we marched towards Salem, unaware of the surprise awaiting us. As we advanced, I noticed my vessel, empty at daybreak, had become heavy. To my surprise, it contained many pearls of different sizes and brilliance, mysteriously forming as we approached the distant white city.
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.